Welcome back. You're still watching Guide Review with me, Sharon Brown-Acquah. Moving on, teenage pregnancy and effective education on adolescent reproductive health has been a topic left on the shoulders of teachers to bear. But really, as parents, guardians, the media, and the society as a whole, what are we really doing about this situation? Do we just fold our arms and pay attention to other matters rather than look into the present matter and save the future generation instead of watching the situation escalate? Tell me what you think we can do collectively as a nation on Facebook at Daily Guide Network, or get personal with me at Sharon Brown-Acquah on Facebook. Now, the Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana, the leading non-governmental organization currently providing sexual and reproductive health services in Ghana, is doing their bit in curbing the growing rate of teenage pregnancies. But today, we want to know how effective they've been in this fight. I've been joined by Caesar Coxiga, Advocacy Officer of PPAG, and Nadu Adiko, Program Assistant of the Youth Programs Unit of the PPAG. Lady and gentlemen, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
I hope you are having a refreshing month.
Yeah.
Some good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting.
It's been exciting. First 6 months.
Yes.
It's been good. Anyway, so we've been hit by reports of increasing number of teenage pregnancies in the country. Let me start with Nadu.
Yeah.
What's your general view of this?
Well, I think that teenage pregnancy has long existed, but the surge in the numbers can be greatly attributed to the pandemic that we're all hit.
Yes.
Because schools, the measures that were kept in place to curb the COVID-19 was we had a lockdown, the of schools and whatnot. And particularly some of the reports show that the surge was as a result of abuses happening in the home.
Right.
During the lockdown, both young girls were forced to be home with their abusers, and as a result, it ended up in rape and whatnot. And because the facilities, the reproductive health facilities that were made to be openly accessible, people were not able to go. The young people were not going to go because there was disruption of service. So because of that, even the young people's reproductive health needs were also kept in a way. So they had questions or things were going there, but they couldn't have access to go for these services. I think that was one of the main contributors of teenage pregnancy. Aside from the pandemic, what is also increasing or causing teenage pregnancy is that there's not much information reaching the young people out there. Even though we are in our own bit, we are doing the talking, like just using your platform to talk about it. The people that really need it, or the cases that the rural bit is not getting to them, for them to even understand what is going on with my body. Or some people don't understand how pregnancy occurs. Even young people don't know that when they indulge in the act of sex, it results in pregnancy. If you ask people of their first sexual experiences, they were doing it for fun. Or like, oh, I didn't know it will end up this way, but pregnancy came. And even with the pregnancy, the options available to them, whether they want to keep it, whether they want to opt for contraceptives, some are not aware. All these are contributing factors towards the high rates of teenage pregnancies.
Yeah. Okay. Caesar, do you also think?
Yeah, so it's pathetic. Looking at how we sing the fact that young people are our future, the country relies on young people and all of that. And we keep recording these figures of teenage pregnancy. And even more disturbing is the ages at which they are getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Where people below 14 years, more than 2,000 people in Ghana got pregnant. That's just the recorded ones that we have figures for. For us, that is defilement. That a young girl who is below 14 years should not be having sex. And that is why we usually ask who is impregnating our girls. But like she said, teenage pregnancy comes as a result of some complex network of issues that Ghana and Africa has failed to deal with since even before I was born, let me say so. Including the fact that we ran away from discussing things that we do.
Yes.
Things that exist, but we play the ostrich. We seem not to want to talk about them. And these are the things that are crippling our nation. And so, like she said, lack of information, and it comes at a point where COVID-19 has come to really expose the cracks in our society.
Yes.
So from economics to finance to banking, every problem in Ghana and the globe was increased because of this pandemic. And so the figures that we are seeing also came and doubled because the pandemic has come to expose us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were thinking that it's the pandemic also played a role in this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Caesar, you are the advocacy officer. I want to know, do you really think that education on this is really, really intense? Now, allow me to make some reference in this. So this is a copy from the Trinity series, Social Studies for JHS1. Okay, so I don't know, I don't think I remember exactly what I learned back then, but there's a particular subtopic here that speaks on psychological and emotional changes that characterize adolescence. I wasn't taught this. I was only taught about what's happening to me physically and what would happen to me if I'm to indulge in premarital sex or premature sex, right? I think that if really teachers are going according or abiding by these subtopics provided by the Ghana Education Service, there's a whole lot that could actually be done to salvage the situation. Caesar, do you think so? Do you want me to read some of the points out
Let
there
me
for
begin.
you?
I don't.
Okay.
Maybe because of time. Let me just begin by saying that for us in the reproductive health sector and setting, this is inadequate. This is really too small to empower a young lady or a young man about their reproductive health.
This is just a chapter.
Yes, and even
just a chapter.
worse of all of it is that we do not really even take kids through all of this in schools.
That's true.
If you go onto the grassroots, you realize that because there are several issues, including even menstruation, that we just came out of the menstrual hygiene day. And you realize there are so many girls in schools who do not even know how long their menses last. There are so many people who don't even know why and how it occurs. So these are the issues that we stand on to say education is inadequate in schools. And that is why people go on to experiment, people go on to have sex even though they do not know what it is. People are abused, they don't know who to talk to. And I'm not sure we can find sex and gender-based violence in this document.
I don't think so.
So there are several things that are not in existence, and the young people are lacking in terms of knowledge. Yes.
Anyway, so Nadu, let me just read some few points to you. Okay. So according to them, when you're talking about the psychological and emotional changes that characterize adolescents, they say that they become extremely sensitive of their external environment. They become aware of their sexuality. They strive for independence. They become sexually active and emotionally interested in the opposite sex. They are easily influenced by their peers to engage in good or bad things. Most adolescents are very adventurous and eager to participate in exciting and risky activities. Adolescents are shy and self-conscious. Adolescents easily get irritated over trivial issues that affects them.
Okay.
I am particularly happy that they added this to the textbook because young people, when they are told not to do, not to say, not to be, they want to know why. And knowing why has to do with trying to understand and process the whole situation. Why you're telling me this, why I shouldn't do, why I shouldn't do that. Now, honestly, tell me what you think.
So I'm also glad that there's now much emphasis. Let me even take the much because Caesar has said it's not adequate. If you want to understand, like when it comes to the mental development or cognitive of adolescents, it's very key because even it's the mental and the biological that influences the physical, like what we see. And there are some of the statements there, like young people intend in risky behaviors and all that. during that period of adolescence, because hormones are taking to play, they are raging. Their response, I don't want to go into all science and tech, we are not in for that.
Yes.
But hormones in their bid to work or also have a way of affecting body processes and all that. So one of the main things during adolescence is about self-identification. They're trying to form their personalities. So it is a turbulent time that it's as this period that things are forming, they are being transitioned to adulthood. So it's like in using architecture as an analogy, like they're now planning out their lives. And if they don't have the right tools they have, if the architect doesn't have the right calculations and all that, the building will end up collapsing once it's done. The same thing applies to an adolescent. Being curious, trying to find themselves is bound to, they have no control over it because it's the body's processes and trying to form. And at that part, they are analytical, they are logical. You can't tell an adolescent, don't touch it or don't do this. If you just put it bluntly, you are creating room, the brain will start wondering, why is this so in there? So if I touch it, what will come? So that's the reason, give comprehensive or a wholesome package. Okay, so the reason why I'm telling you that if you form wrong association, that you end up exposing yourself with things that will affect your future. Now, because at that period, they know they are beginning to understand like good and bad. So they don't, the action, they understand that the actions I take now, if they are not right, it may affect who I want to be in future. It places some sense of responsibility on them. You're not supposed to do the thinking for them or assume, they'll rebel. Engage them, and that's one thing we often fail to do in adolescence. At that period, they like to be involved and have some form of autonomy. That's where the independence come in. So if you are telling me something about me and you are leaving me out of it, definitely I will. And because of things are not clear with regards to the cognitive or the mental development, that's how come now suicide rate and mental health issues is sparking out among your young people. Their emotions they've not gotten to the state to be able to control their emotions well. So you find a young girl, they are forming relationships with opposite sex. It's normal, they are attraction, all these are hormones. But if they are not being guided how to control these emotions, that's on social media, making fun of a girl who is crying hysterical because the boyfriend has broken up. You don't expect them to understand how to deal with their emotions and all that. So it's very good that though the physical changes we talk about, enlargement of, before even people are insecure about their body. You find teenagers now bleaching. It's not because it's because they don't like who they are, because they are thinking that society is saying it affects their self-esteem, so they do body modification, the tattoos. If you ask someone, why do you have, not that I'm not against piercing or tattoo, but if you ask people, young people, why are you bleaching, they can't give you substantial reason, but the main thing is rooted in how they are processing, like society, especially the media, has set some standards, like, skinny girls are the ones at the best. They are the chick girls. So there's whole lot of confusion. Let me say. So it's very key. And because they cannot handle that, they resort to the alcohol to cope with it. That's when they find themselves in wrong associations and
doing drugs
and the worst of all is that they end up they can't open up and talk to people because even their parents don't create that environment, which is next. Communication is key for their mental health. If something is wrong with me, I should have that safe space. And that's what we advocate, to talk about it, not to feel ashamed. Like, I'm a boy, I wake up, my bed is wet. It's completely normal. I shouldn't be laughed at. Wet dreams is normal. I'm a girl, I have my first menstruation, or I saw myself in class and everybody is pointing hands at me. It makes me timid. And that, the blueprint I'm talking about, once it's go, a girl who is sharp in class, always quick to answer questions, is being teased for having sword, so becomes timid, and that is it. She grows up and she doesn't want to talk. Anytime she's given an opportunity to talk, she just remembered, I'll be laughed at, something like that. So that's my take on it.
Now, you normally go out there to interact more with the young people. When you go, do they seem clueless? I know you mentioned it earlier, but just run us through one or two of your experiences with them.
Okay. So Like I said, most of the things we get on the field, or if you interview some teenage mothers, it was never their intention to get pregnant. Aside from some communities here that the quest for childbirth is seen as prestigious, especially around our coastal lines.
Yes.
I won't mention any community Instagram, but
Please don't.
yeah, I wouldn't do that. But it's kind of the pride in, oh, my kid, I have a child. Do you have a child? So kind of competition, like to do the latest adories and all that. But those ones are the, but most young people who have become pregnant didn't think that there was pregnancy after that. And like the ignorance not on their part, but the field system, because parents don't have access to the right information, or the children themselves don't have that. They told you, oh, the boy, like, rape do happen, results in that, but the consensual ones, they thought they were just having fun. They don't even know how their body works, like, oh, I'm menstruating, my safe, unsafe period. They don't know anything about it. And like Caesar said, recently the ended World Menstrual Hygiene Day. We did activities at the various field talking about it. Most people even don't know when to expect their menstruation, the like, or how, changes that happen to their body, they don't know. And even those who know are getting their, Caesar always shared a story that there was this girl that a man took advantage of her, in the sense that, oh, if I have sex with you, you're going to get big bottles. Because again,
Really?
yes.
That's the line they are using now?
Yes. And it's not their fault, because again, there's this perception out there, like, if you have big bottles, like, you see the music videos.
We see them all
Yeah,
the time.
so it has been, if you're a girl with flat ass or so, like, you will not see as beautiful. So imagine somebody tell you that I have quality sperms, that if I sleep with you,
Wow.
you are going to get big butts.
Wow.
Unknowingly, she will jump on. And another bit of it is that what we call transactional sex. Every girl has needs. We all have needs, as a matter of fact. Most girls lack basic needs, like even to afford menstrual sanitary pad.
Sanitary. I understand some men also use that line,
Yes.
to get them to.
Yes, and they need it. Because unlike sex that I can choose not to have sex or not, I can't tell my ovaries this month, don't work, on my womb, that don't menstruate, whether you like it or not.
It will
Yeah,
come.
God. And access to hygiene materials is expensive. I can see, the average cost of sanitary pad is like 5 CD, but it's not
To
everybody.
someone,
They can't afford
yes,
it.
yes.
So if I get a man in my area tell me, oh, pretty girl, I like you, let me just do, I'll be giving you 5 to buy pad, she will do it. So these are some of the issues that we deal with. And the young people always, they after they are being exposed to our interventions in the community, you can see that they wish they won't do, but we always tell them that,
It's
like,
never too
it's
late.
never too late. So we have programs where teenage mothers are supported to go back to school, because even the Ghana Education Service has that accept, if once you give birth, you can go back
to
and
school.
complete it. And the goal is that young people are fully prepared to achieve any potential, and they shouldn't be limited.
Okay. Now, still out there on the field, I see some
Yeah.
interesting stuff on my table.
Okay.
Can you go through?
Okay. So
But
okay.
and then the parents, or those of you watching, please don't discourage your teenagers or your adolescents from watching us. We are educating them. It's for the good of you yourself and for their good as well. Please, it's best if they just know what is happening. Let's just be plain and straightforward to them. Tell them, explain things to them. So I'm not discouraged. We are not trying to say this is an 18 plus rated movie. No. No. But we are here to educate and inform. Nadia.
Okay. So when it comes to reproductive health education, we emphasize on age appropriateness. So at every age of the child, and what information is good for them. So we are talking about the space of adolescence.
Okay.
And like Caesar said, we are mostly often playing the ostrich. Abstinence is good.
It's
It's the best contraceptive you can think of. But again, let us not be blinded that it is not every adolescent out there that is abstaining. Okay, and most of these people are chastised more the religious setting. We don't tend to be preachy,
Yes.
but to teach them.
We'll get to that part.
So what you see here are various contraceptive methods that will help or prevent pregnancies.
Right.
So we normally teach with models. So this is a model of a female organ, like the external, then the inside is here. I'll go for then this is a penis model. So I'll just do a condom demonstration because of time. So this is a male condom. This is a female condom. Then we have the oral pills. So these oral pills contain hormones that help or prevent pregnancy. Maybe another time when we can go detailed on family planning methods to give. So this is a pill to be taken daily. Then we have what we call an implant, It's also a rod like which is inserted to the arm, the dormant arm of the lady, and also contains hormones that help prevent pregnancy. I really appreciate if we get another time to give extensive education, because there are lots of questions people have about it works. Then we have what we call an IUD. Let me just trying to get it out from the pack so that we can get a better view of it.
See that I don't think you are
let Caesar help me. Then we have the injectable. This is for every 3 months, and the lady goes for a shot, and this is for 1 month, every month. But this is at the arm, but this is more oil based, so you be injected at the back. Yes, for it. All these contains hormones. These to help prevent pregnancy. But this is a sample of an IUD or copper T.
To be honest with you, this is my first time seeing
this. So this is non-hormonal, So it has copper cord around it.
Is that safe?
Yes, it's very safe. It's among the effectiveness. This is IUD is the most effective in preventing pregnancy, but it is inserted in the uterus. And the copper is toxic to the sperm, and also the shape and how it's kept in the womb also prevent the sperm from eating the egg to prevent pregnancy. I think at a better time we'll have extensive education. So I'm just going to demonstrate the most common one is the condom. And people have this as stigmatized when they go to the pharmacy to buy condoms. You should rather encourage young people who come to us, because it's only condoms that offer dual protection from pregnancy and from sexually transmitted diseases. You might think, oh, I'm using the others, I won't get pregnant, but you can end up getting HIV, genital warts, and whatnot. So this is the female condom. I know most people are curious because the female condoms are not really common. So I'm going to start with the male condom. I will need a tissue.
You need a tissue?
Yes. So that's
do they always need tissues?
No, that's when I'm taking it off. You can use a tissue or a newspaper, but I'll demonstrate that. So when you're buying a condom, before you open it, you have to check for the expiry date.
Something most Ghanaians fail to do. In fact, most people fail to do.
Yes, you need to check for the. So this was manufactured in last year, May 2020, and it will expire 2025. Then you have to also check that there's no perforation, no or something. It's not bloated. Yes, that is not bloated. And we advise don't use scissors or your teeth. That's why this zigzag edge was made. So you just hold it and tear it up. That easy. And the condom comes out. So this is how a male condom looks like from the pack. The oil you see is a lubricant to help. And most condoms, the common are made of latex. People who are allergic to latex, there are other products, lamb skin that are made of. And even just to make it more fun to use, there are other brands that make it come in varying flavors. And even we have glow in dark. We have ones with balm just to make it. Yes. So the condom, this part is where the semen is supposed to be. If you are wearing a condom, you have to make sure that you hold the tip so that you don't trap air in there. Because when air is in there and the process of your it can burst, and when they burst, it's
Trouble for you.
yes, the semen will leak out. So using my penis model enclosure, I put it up, then you roll it up gently to cover the entire shaft of the penis. So
and that's it.
that
There you
is
go.
it. So if I had a tissue, you advise the end. Condoms are supposed to be worn on an erected penis, not a flaccid one.
Okay.
And make sure that once you are done with your business, you take it away from it, because what you see or comes out is the semen, the sperms in there, and a tiny drop has like billions of sperms waiting to turn into beautiful babies
like us.
Yes, yes. So you also, in taking out the condom, you don't wait for it to go flaccid before you take it out. Then with the tissue, you gently pull keep rolling. And the tissue also to help that as it's coming up, any semen would have been collected in it. Then we advise you don't flash it. You can burn it, put in the bin or a pet latrine. And that's it. I didn't think it took me any, like, less than a minute I was done. So don't let the guy lie to you or the woman lie to you, oh, condom, it will take time. No. It's a show of protecting yourself, because you will not be pregnant, but you don't want to end up with STIs, and STIs is a whole thing on its own and its complications. So that is for the male condom.
Let's move to the female condom.
Yes, and with the female condom, they send the check for expiry date. There's no tear, it's not bloated, to know that you are good to go. So with the female condom too, there's a tear side to make it easier, so you don't use your teeth or because it's rubber. If you use your teeth, you can spoil. So
cause more damage.
so this is how a female condom looks like. It has an opening and a ring in it. So if I want to wear, I think it can be worn probably 8 hours before sexual intercourse.
8 hours?
Yes.
Before?
Yes, if you want to wear.
No, isn't that uncomfortable?
That is the proposed manufacture duration. It can be there till you do, so maybe 5 minutes time, but definitely has to be worn before, because the wearing of this is a bit more than it's advised that you shouldn't wait in the heat of the moment, because you might not wear it properly. It might dislodge, so I'll take ample time to wear it before. So using my female genitalia, so you curl the ring into an 8 shape. Okay. Then you...
Is my camera capturing this?
Let me move this out the way. So you put it inside, and then you use your forefinger. Yes, to push it so that the ring covers the cervix. Okay, so it's out like this.
Just that.
Yes, this is how you want. And you can wear, the female can wear, you are laying on her back, or putting one leg on the stool and one that, whatever makes you comfortable. Yes, but you can also put your hand there whilst you are guiding it inside, so that the rubber, make sure that it covers the entire vulva of the vagina, of the male organ. People make a vagina is what is inside. What you see outside is what we call the vulva. Yes, so just make sure that it covers entirely, and you guide the penis, because in the heat of the moment, if it goes this way, it's not appropriate, it might shift it. So you can guide it inside, then that is it.
That's it. Yes. And at the end of the day,
so in removing it with the same tissue or in paper or something like that, when you have to twist it and pull gently. So you keep twisting, because we don't want the seam inside to come, and that's why you twist it. You pull gently, so everything comes out. Then you dispose of it.
Now, there's this perception that using IUDs and other contraceptives can sometimes interfere with our menstrual cycle. Some bloat, some gain unnecessary extra weight and everything.
So I guess
do you get those questions?
Oh yes, that's why. Okay, I thought we could move, but since we have the platform, let me just. So IUD is non-hormonal. It doesn't have any hormone. The main, I don't want to get technical here, but there are hormones that are responsible for women ovulating every month and menstruating.
The estrogen and
Estrogen and progesterone. These are the two main hormones. And that, so what this one, all it does, if I can just use this, you see, this is the uterus. Okay, so the IUD just lies in the uterus, like what is inserted through the vagina. And all that, this thread you see will be at the vagina entrance. If it depending on the length they cut it, so that it's not interfere with your sexual pleasure. And like I said, this one, there's nothing like the bloating, the headache, because there's no hormones going into your blood. It's mechanical. All it does is that there's copper is toxic to the sperm, so it reduces their potency to go and fertilize the egg. And because of the T shape, and we know if you have a structure of the internal organs, we have the uterus,
the womb, the tubes.
The tube. So it also blocks the entrance to the tube, because where the egg is released, it goes to wait in the fallopian tubes and the sperm meets it there. But if there's a barrier, the sperm cannot go and meet the egg. That is how IUD works. But it's the hormonal ones, and I always say that to every medication there are side effects, and it varies from person to person. And sometimes the side effect is not like through the entire use of the contraceptive.
Just for a period.
Your body, if you even take medication first time, your body has a way of responding to it. So yes, though if you definitely start contraceptive, some of the things are your body's way of accepting it or trying to stay with it. There are people that maybe the first month or two, they get the symptoms like the headache and all that, but it goes away. With the weight gain, there's no direct link between the contraceptives and the weight, even if it has been, but if you follow your appetite, people gain weight. There are people who are not using contraceptive, but they gain weight. But because of this strong misconception out there, there are people that if they are even on family plan, they hit stone. They will say it's the contraceptive, that you have no idea the stories we hear like it's the family planning that they
cause that.
Sometimes, drugs interfere with certain drugs. Sometimes, you see, some antibiotics, they'll tell you don't take milk.
Yes.
So it's advisable that when you're in on the hormonal and you are taking a different, you have to make your doctor aware that, I'm taking this medication, so that maybe it will not affect, or if you have to go off the contraceptive and finish your medication, they will do that for you. And with this ones, you always check your blood pressure. If you have a high blood pressure, no doctor or nurse will prescribe
this for
hormonal for you.
Okay.
It's because of the action. It works in the blood. Okay. So the mode of action. So no one will put you in such and there are varying options. If you try the injectables and you are not comfortable, you can try the other one. It's better you are protecting yourself, you plan your pregnancy, than to get pregnant and have issues or complications and all that. That's as I said, when you talk about reproductive, it's so comprehensive that these 3 pages is not doing justice.
No.
Yes, because even young adolescents need to be exposed with options available to them, so that they are aware that, if I cannot do the abstinence and I still want to enjoy, then let me do it
this way
and be safe, that I don't end up jeopardizing my future or whatnot. And again, to iterate on what you said, it's not like you teaching your children or talking about it. It's not that you're exposing them to go and act it.
That's right.
And you don't know who this information will benefit. There are some friends that have saved, and one thing PPAG we strongly believe that young people, because at that period they form an association, we have leverage on that uniqueness of them to even push it. So you go to the field, and it's not grown people that are teaching that, it's peer-to-peer education. Because they take their friend's word for it. So why not equip that friend with the right information? So that if Amma comes to ask me, Akusia, and Kwame said we should have said, oh no, I went to the sisters club and they told us that no one should touch, no one should do to me. Yeah, some people don't have the luxury to talk to their parents about issues like that. So we are equipping young people, because they go to their friends for information. So why don't we give those friends good information that they can help them? Teaching about contraceptives, it's not something bad. We are not trying to say people should not give it. See, if we are talking about misconception, there's a whole lot really will come after us. Our bit and aim is that we advocate for abstinence
Okay.
as the best choice. But if genuinely you can't
can't
abstain,
abstain.
then go for a contraceptive to be on the
Right,
safer side.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that demonstration.
Yeah.
I want to go on a break, but then Caesar, let me hear from you. Getting access to these or to this kind of information in the rural areas, it's very, very tough. I think I can attest to that. I've been to some few places and I really can attest to that. Meanwhile, let's start with, let's say, the condom, getting condom. If they are not sold in pharmacies, they are sold at the hospitals or health facilities in these rural areas. And sometimes where the health facilities are located so far from their homes, you are an advocacy officer. Please, do you think this is fair? Because you're trying to fight a situation, but then the people who are supposed to help us in this fight are also not being supportive.
Okay, so we are living in Ghana. We are Africans. We have beliefs. And I think one of the things that is drawing us back is a refusal to move on.
Right.
And so we are stuck to the perception that our young people should behave as we behaved in 1985, which is not possible.
That's
And
true.
so, like she said, people are now struggling to live double lives because they have to please their parents and they have to live the trends. So they will become confused. And that is why we believe everybody needs sensitization. Because to surprise you, GES does not allow teaching and demonstration like she did in schools.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a reason?
So that is the law. So the policymaker needs education himself or herself because they don't want to accept the fact that the girls or the boys are unable to abstain sometimes, and so they need options. And we keep telling them that, and even the parents listening to us, when we say abstinence, it's not an accident. It's an informed decision.
Yeah.
When we say an informed decision, it means the adolescent has contemplated on what it means to abstain, or have sex and what will happen to them if they happen to have sex. And they have decided on their own, not by the force of their parents, that they want to keep their virginity or they don't want to have sex. That comes only after you are informed.
Okay.
But society does not want us to inform their kids. So if you see somebody abstaining, it's because maybe they are privileged to have been exposed to the material or information. But we say, expose it to everybody. Let us all understand what it means to have sex.
Right.
Because until then, the condom might be 2 steps away from them. But how many people can buy a condom
How
in
many
the
people
store?
can buy it? Yes, that's another question.
And there are cases and even videos I can show you where a young person can go to buy a condom and they'll ask you, who are you buying it for? So all of these are barriers. It's not just
Yes.
about access.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
also about the perception and even acceptance of the use of it. And so in the foreign nations, and I'm not saying we should do so, where a mother can give a condom to her kids.
Yes.
We don't do that.
We can't do that.
We won't even talk to them about
About
it in the
it.
first
We
place. So
can't.
it's for all of us to come to that consensus that we have to accept the reality as it is. That some people are unable to abstain. And even for those who want to abstain, like she was saying, we have cases where a young person decides that they want to abstain, but they need food. And like people say, they have sponsors, they have big sugar daddies. I always ask, do they have sugar daddies and sponsors because they want to enjoy sex? No.
No.
Because they would have gone for a more active young man who is on the streets,
Yeah.
who can do it better.
Yeah.
The reason they are going for a sponsor is because they want money.
Money.
If they come to an elderly person who has money and can give it freely, they will be excited. And because they won't do that, they put the tax of having sex with them. And until they are informed on how to do that safely, they get pregnant. So it's a problem,
It's a problem.
that all of us are. We are not causing it. we are the problem.
We
Yeah,
So we
and
need to
just
solve.
to add on what Caesar is saying, in our bid that to help control the issue of this sugar, we are empowering girls. We don't say don't indulge it, but we also do livelihood skills training, so that this young girl, we know because of one or two reasons cannot afford it, can learn a skill. People, not everybody can go to grammar school, write BC and pass. Some of them are in that way skills, and now they are the ones making the money. The TV, they
Yes.
do cake. Someone say the balloon, they come and put some ribbon there. They are charging you over 1,000. So we empower these young girls to mostly in livelihood skills and vocation training,
Okay.
so that they are empowered economically. They are self-sufficient. So that if that sugar is coming tell me, hey, I'm going to give you money unless you give me sex, that they are empowered that they say, no, I can afford this myself, and they're able to do that.
Okay.
And even with a bit of the abstinence, yes, I said, it needs information and education, because some people are lured that because I am not indulged in penetrative sex, I'm a virgin, but they are doing things.
Let's
Yeah,
not go
let's
there.
just end
Let's
it
not
there.
go
So
there.
yeah, so basically, even to abstain, they need to understand what basically goes in the abstain, like the whole understand the
Yes.
concept, so that they are not being lied to. And there are girls that have, oh, I'm only brushing what? So you get it. So to them, the guy, I'm still abstaining, but they are doing things to them. Yeah.
Whew, indeed. Do you think we are the problem? Let me know what you think on Facebook at the Guide Network. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.